my channel or welcome back. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining us. If you are returning, you already know it. You are fabulous. All right, so today's video, I'm so super excited about this, guys. Today's video is in collaboration with Blondie Next Door, Farm Charm Chic, and also Lisa Kennedy DIY. It is called Blonde Force. What about the shirt? Oh my gosh, is the shirt not so stinking cute? Okay, so we got together, myself and these ladies got together and decided to do a collaboration, and we are all blondes. So we decided to call it Blonde Force. And then I believe it was Lisa Kennedy that made the t-shirts. Well, actually made the design, and then we all, made our own shirt. But anyways, so cool. I've had such a great opportunity getting to know these ladies, and it's just so much fun doing collaborations like this. And this one was very cool because, everybody gives that statistic like, oh, blondes are just dumb blondes. Well, guess what? Some of us are very successful, very well educated women. We just have blonde hair. That's it. It doesn't do anything to your brain. Anyways, yes, I have my blonde moments, but I have a good friend that is brunette and she has blonde moments also. So, you know what I mean? It just is what it is. Anyways, I'm so excited about this. So let's jump right in. Welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here with me today. So as I said before, this is the Blonde Force collab, and we've got Farm Charm Chic, Blondie Next Door, and Lisa Kennedy Dollar Mom, and myself. Links to their videos will be in the description box below. DIY number 1. So for this first one, we're going to start out. I've got the burlap leaves that I picked up at Walmart. They were $1.34 a pack. You can get these at the Dollar Tree, but I could not find any, so I went ahead and grabbed some from Walmart. I've got some burlap that I just had on hand. I also picked up these picks that I got from Hobby Lobby. Now, they were $5.99 a piece and then 40% off. I'm going to be using a hula hoop that came from the Dollar General store. It was $1. All right, so the first thing I did was start by removing that full sticker that's around the hula hoop. I then opened it up, emptied out the little beads that are in it, and then I super glued it shut. I'm going to take that burlap and we're just going to hot glue it directly to the hula hoop. So I decided that it would be easier to put my florals on and also my leaves if I just wrapped this hula hoop in burlap. Plus, that way, if there was a section of it that did not get covered with either the leaves or the picks, then what you're going to see is burlap, not plastic hula hoop. You know what I mean? So I just thought it was best. Now, I took those leaves, and they've got a little metal, like hook on them, and it just simply peels right off. You want to hold the bottom of the leaf while you're pulling it off, just so you don't rip the leaf, but it comes off super, super simple. So I did that to each of my leaves. I then laid out my leaves and began to place them around the hula hoop, just in kind of a little pattern that I was going off of. Now, once I got them all laid out there, I realized that I didn't have enough. Now, I picked up every pack that they had at Walmart, but still ended up with not enough. So I took them all back off, put them back in their separate piles, and then I decided I would put them in sections around the hula hoop. So like 5 separate sections. And then that way my picks could go in between each of the sections. I just began to hot glue them on. Now, I hot glued this one on backwards. I had to take it off and re-glue it going the other direction, but that's besides the point. Anyways, but that's what I did. I just simply hot glued these leaves directly to the hula hoop. I then added my picks, and boom, this one's done, and it is gorgeous, y'all. Okay, so just to recap on today's collaboration, Emily from Farm Charm Chic, Janelle from Blondie Next Door, and then Lisa from Lisa Kennedy Dollar Mom, and myself, we are all blondes, hence the name Blonde Force. So we got together and decided we would do a collaboration just to show that all blondes are not dumb. Some of us are very successful, very talented ladies. And the ladies in this collab, y'all, these women are super talented. I know that you're going to enjoy their DIYs and just absolutely love each of their channels. So there's going to be a link in the description box for the playlist for today where you will find all the other videos in this collaboration. All right, let's jump right back in. DIY number 2. So for this one, I've got 3 yard stakes that I picked up at the Dollar General store, $1 a piece. And then I've got this gorgeous doormat that I picked up for $5 at the Family Dollar. Y'all, this sucker is very pretty. There was no way I was going to step on it. So I decided to make a sign out of it. I've got some foam board that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. Now I'm going to start out with my Aleene's tacky glue. I get this at the Dollar Tree. I love using it for projects like this. I knew that it was sticky enough that it would hold this doormat on that foam board. So I just added it very evenly all over the back of the doormat. I then placed the doormat on the foam board. I held my yard stakes up to it so that I could tell just right where, you know, the edge of the poster board or the foam board was, that I needed to have my mat, so that it was going to be, you know, I would be able to glue my yard stakes into place. Now, I just laid my yard stakes out around my picture, and then I started to measure them off. The measurements I used right now, like what I'm doing right now, I actually ended up kind of changing up a little bit because I decided to give it a 45-degree angle on each corner and kind of make it look like a frame. Now, I wasn't totally successful at this. This was my first attempt at a 45-degree angle, and that's just a whole nother tutorial. But anyways, it's pretty close. So I'm going to be using Elephant Chalk Paint by Waverly. And then I'm also going to go back and use some clear wax along with some white chalk paint by Waverly. Y'all see that here in a minute. We're going to mix that up. So I started out by just painting my sticks with the elephant. I then took a baby wipe and wiped it back off. So I just wanted to kind of have that stained look, but, you know, be pretty thick on there at the same time. So when I got those done and that was dry, I took the clear wax, added a little to a little container that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to add a little bit of the white. Now, when I went to add my white was almost the bottom of the jar. And so it was super thick. So I decided to add a little bit more clear wax because I was afraid it was going to be too much white. I mixed it up really, really good with a craft stick. But definitely you're going to want to mix this up really, really good. You want it super even. I then just started to paint it onto my sticks. And you can tell just by the first couple little coats here that we do right across it that it's going to be a gorgeous color. So I just added it to each of my sticks, just simply painted it on. This is such a great way to get that kind of, I don't know, it's like a distressed look, but it's just so pretty, y'all. It's such a pretty color when you're done. The elephant, I love Elephant Waverly chalk paint. It is my favorite. I would literally paint a wall in my house with that color, y'all. I need to just take it to the paint shop and have them match it, I guess, because I love it that much. But anyways, that's all besides the point. So I just painted on my clear wax with the white chalk paint. But I wanted to show y'all this little container. So it's got like little flip top sides to it that snap into place. I got that container at the Dollar Tree, y'all, and it's perfect for paint. So, and it actually comes 2 for $1. So if you see those, grab those. Those are perfect for extra paint that you've got. it really locks into place. But anyways, okay, so back to the DIYs. So like I said before, I just wiped these back off with a towel just to get that excess wax off of them. I then took a sanding block and went over each of my pieces. And that was just to kind of give it that extra little oomph of distressing. Now, I'm going to take my pieces. I laid them out around my picture, and then I'm just going to simply hot glue these into place. So I added my hot glue. I then just placed my piece into place, held it down for a minute. I go on to the next piece. Hot glue, place it down. So I did the side pieces first. I'm then going to do the top. So simple, guys. This is so stinking simple. Just add my little piece in there. Same with the bottom. I'm just going to add a little hot glue right along the edge. And it doesn't take much at all. Place my piece in there, and then I've got my X-Acto knife. Now, I picked this little X-Acto knife up at Walmart. This was something new that I found the last time I was there, and I love it because it's got such a tiny little blade on it. It would be perfect. I mean, it's perfect for this, but it would be perfect for your more intricate, you know, little tiny details on something. This little pin would be perfect. But I just cut off my excess foam board. I'm going to flip it over, add some twine to the back with some craft sticks, and this is done. Oh my gosh. Y'all, I love this. All right, moving right along, DIY number 3. So for this one, I have got one of these calendars. This is the Farmer's Market calendar, I believe. And y'all, it's got such cute pictures in it. There's so many cute pictures for just the different seasons. But I decided to go with this Thankful and Blessed page. I've got a one of these cute trays from the Dollar Tree. Also a candlestick from the Dollar Tree. I've got Mod Podge and a Mod Podge like tool that I got from Plaid. Plaid actually sent me a box with a ton of supplies in it. So y'all are going to be seeing those supplies just along the way here. I've also got some just cheap black spray paint. Now, I started out by tracing around the candlestick and finding my placement with it. I'm then going to take my Starbond multi-purpose medium adhesive along with the accelerator. I just added the adhesive to the bottom of the tray, right inside that square that we had just traced. I'm going to add the accelerator to the bottom of the candlestick and then just place that directly down in the center of my tray. So super simple. This turns out so stinking cute too, y'all. And that glue's so good. Check it out. I took it outside and then sprayed it down with my just cheap black spray paint. Now, that was all I had on hand. I was out of my Rust-Oleum. So this is what I went with. And it actually turned out pretty good. It actually worked out pretty good. So once I got it spray painted, I brought it back in the house, and I at first was going to just flip it over and trace around it to get the circle, you know, for the center of the tray. But then I decided to just put it down in there and kind of run my fingers around the edge, and I just kind of took my fingernail and ran it right along that edge, and this gave me an indentation in the actual paper to where I was able to just cut that out. Super, super simple, y'all. Does not get any easier than this, really. So I just cut that off with some scissors. I did go around the top a little closer in so that I could get rid of the hole that was in the top of it. But once I placed it down on my tray, I was like, I don't know. Because you could see the black like in all four corners where we had just trimmed around it. So I have got some vintage white by Folk Art that was also sent to me by Plaid. And I decided to just paint around the outer edge of this tray. Now, this is acrylic paint, and I want y'all to see just how well it covers. I did have to use 2 coats, but man, this is just some good paint. Very, very good paint. And this is such a pretty color, and it was really the exact color that I needed for this DIY because it matches the paper so, so well. So once I got that dry, I added my Mod Podge. Now, this is the water sealant Mod Podge. I then laid my page down directly in the center there, and I want y'all to just look and see how well it looked with that color. It matched perfect, but when I went to smooth it out with the little Mod Podge tool, I actually nicked the paint. So you can see up there at the top, I go back. I will have to go back and fix that. So I just take my brush and go right in there, fix that up real easy, kind of smooth it out with my fingers that way that it doesn't look funny around the page. And I actually have another little spot that I messed up on right above the end. I actually kind of ripped the paper a little bit. So I took my brush and just dry brushed across the top of it. I then added Mod Podge to the top, and this one was done. How stinking cute is this, y'all? All right, DIY number 4, and definitely my favorite from this video. So I have got this little sign, a little Easter sign I got for $1 at the Dollar General. I have this little sign, a canvas, a set of the wood planks, and another little sign, all from Dollar Tree. I've also got some of these finial caps that I picked up at the Hobby Lobby, and I believe they were like $4.99 and then 40% off, and also this curtain finial that came from the Hobby Lobby for a couple dollars. And then I've got 4 of these picture frames that came from the Dollar Tree. So the first thing I did was just unwrap all of my picture frames. I took the glass out and then removed all of the little metal tabs that are around the frame. All I needed was the frame part of these picture frames. I then went through and got all of my other pictures ready. I'm gonna take those frames, add a little bit of hot glue to the outer edge of one side of the frame, and then I'm gonna add the other frame. But as I add it, I'm gonna come from the outside and push inwards. That way I push all the glue to the inside. I'll do it again here in just a second, and you'll be able to tell a little better. Now, I did stand it up a couple times just to make sure that I was keeping it square, but I just added a little hot glue to the edge, and then I'm going to take my frame and come from the very outside and roll it inwards. That way, like I said, you're pushing that glue to the inside. Works out really, really well if you do that. I just continued this process of adding my frames. I'm going to add some hot glue to the outside edge of these last 2 frames here. And then I'm just going to very carefully add in my very last frame to create a box of sorts. But I just go from the outside and just kind of squish it in there. Super duper simple. Now, I've got some craft sticks that I picked up at Walmart. These are the jumbo craft sticks. And I'm just going to glue these to the bottom of this box that we have made. So what we're making is a lantern. I don't know if y'all had noticed that yet or not, but Y'all, this one turns out so pretty. I wanted a really, really big one for a certain little spot in my living room. And so this was the best thing I could come up with, and I stinking love it. I added those craft sticks to the bottom of my lantern. I did have to cut one in half just so that I could fit it to that very last piece. Super simple. And the craft sticks were exactly the right size. Now, you don't get that very often, but hey, I'll go with it. Now, I felt like it was still a little flimsy, so I decided to cut down some paint sticks with my miter shears. Now, I get these miter shears off of Amazon, and as you can see there, I'm super struggling with it. The thing about miter shears is with some things, they cut like butter. That second one cuts so super simple. The first one, I like to never got it cut. So I don't know if it's just my hands are not that strong or if the miter shears are just really that hard to use. But anyways, now I added those paint sticks to the bottom of this lantern, and that way I just had a little extra support, just hold everything together really well. It's set up just fine. I then took one of those finial caps, and we're just going to glue it to the center of the bottom of our lantern. What we're initially making here is, or essentially making, should I say, is like a riser of sorts inside the lantern. So the problem that I always have with lanterns is once I get the bottom of it decorated and then stick my candle in the middle, you can barely see the candle because I always end up with so many florals around it. But I like it that way. I like it good and full. So I decided to just go ahead and create a riser inside the lantern so that way I didn't even have to worry about it. All right, so I'm going to take that picture, the small, medium-sized picture from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to glue it to the top of that canvas. Now that canvas was the exact size I needed in order to make a top for our lantern. So I took that smallest piece that we had and added it to the medium-sized one. So now we've got 3 of them stacked on top of each other. I then took that curtain finial cap, added some hot glue to the bottom of it, and just popped it directly in the center of our little stack that we just made. So super simple, y'all. This is so stinking easy, okay? And this turns out absolutely stunning. I mean, I'm so in love with this piece. Now, I took it outside and I used that same spray paint. Now, I picked that spray paint up at the Dollar General store, and for it to be like $1.49, I think, a can, it really was some really good spray paint. So I'm probably going to be investing in some more of this. But I just spray painted the entire thing, top to bottom, all of it. I added my florals and candle, and I wish y'all would look at this sucker. Oh! All right, last but not least, DIY number 5. So for this one, I've got a vase that I picked up at the Dollar General store for $4. Now, this was such a cute vase, but it was kind of chipped and it had just been in my stash for a while. So I've got some caulk that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, and then I've also got some brushed metal gold paint that came from Plaid. Now, I've never done a DIY like this. I have never used the caulk. I've seen many YouTubers do it, but I just have personally never done it myself. And I'll tell you, it's not as messy as you would think. And the best way to do it is just to get in there and do it, okay? I was totally scared of this DIY. I could not figure out just exactly what it was going to look like. And so I was kind of scared to even begin. But you know, those are the kind of DIYs that you need to just get in there and do it because some of them do turn out pretty good. So anyways, as you can see there, I just simply added the caulk to my jar. or my vase, and then I took my fingers and just in a like a swirling motion, I just kind of smoothed that caulk down. And I'm actually going to just kind of leave it like that. I just kind of smoothed it out and kind of made some little swirls and whatnot. There's not really a design per se, but it's just little swirls all over it. I made sure to get the top really good. That way it was completely covered. Once it dried, I'm then going to take that gold paint and a really good paintbrush, and I'm going to kind of create a little line going down the bottom. Now, I could have taped this off, but I wasn't sure if the caulk would come off with the tape. I just wasn't sure about it. So I decided I would just kind of take my brush and really carefully and try to keep my line not straight, because obviously I'm kind of going at it, you know, at an angle here, but just kind of clean, where the line looks clean, where the white and the gold meet. That's what I'm trying to say. Just so that looked very clean. But I just painted that gold onto the bottom of this, y'all. This was so super simple. This literally did not take me 20 minutes to do. I mean, other than the drying of the caulk, but so super simple. I love this vase once it's done. All I did was add some florals to this once my paint dried, and I think it's really pretty. Y'all will have to let me know what you think about this one. And now for the final reveal. I hope that y'all have enjoyed.
Babies, what are y'all doing? What are you doing, huh? Yeah, watching mama do her thing? Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. What sweet babies. Oh, sweet babies, yes, look at them blue eyes. Look at them little blue eyes, Booker. Yeah, so sweet, so sweet. Y'all are too precious. Y'all, this is literally where I do all of my filming, taking all my pictures. And you have this behind me. I have an audience for it.
All right, y'all, that is it for today. What did you think? Oh my gosh, these all turned out so stinking good. All right, so don't forget, go to the description box, hit that link and watch the playlist. These ladies are so super talented. You're going to love them, but you're also going to love their channels. So I know that you're going to want to go check that out and all that because they're just so super talented, really. They truly are. And I have been so blessed to get to be a part of this. It was just a great time. I have had a great time doing this. So I hope that y'all enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It definitely helps my channel. Don't forget to share this with your friends and family and subscribe. That would be awesome. Hit that notification bell so that you will know each time I upload a new video. Thank you all so much for watching, and y'all have a blessed day.